Welcome to the screen. I'm Ravager, your Icelandic host for this program. And today I'm going to cover one of the new skills in the Tower of Knowledge, its impact, the game effect it has, and how it compares inside the game with other similar abilities and skills. The skill I'm going to cover today is Guard, a new damage mitigating and transfer skill, but included in the coverage are the other new skills that work in the damage mitigation area. Now, other such Tower of Knowledge skills, already familiar to most of you, are skills such as Assist, Resist, Physical and Magical Shield, and a couple of the new skills we'll cover later on, like Overpower, Jade Barrier, and Weakness Protection. As for Immortal skills, those that have similar abilities are like King Arthur's Wind Ruler, Leonidas and his Earth Splitter, Arminius and his Ancient Guardian, and El Cid with his Conquest skill. Each of those immortals have damage mitigation abilities. Now, the short version is that Guard is a near clone to Assist. The only difference is that Assist only works on the back row, while Guard can work on anyone. That said, kind of wish they made it so Guard only worked on the front row allies for those instances where you want to use Guard and Assist in the same team. But then again, this also helps if you want to set up a more solid second, third troop from a defensive standpoint. Now, the long version. With Arminius. Now, where are you doing? Here you are. We'll start with Arminius. His skill reduces physical damage received by up to 35% per proc for 6 seconds. But he also heals for up to 450%. So it's actually a pretty decent skill for an elite immortal to have. And I remember in the early stages when I met him in the well, he was actually quite annoying at times. Now, another immortal we want to look at is, where is he? King Arthur. Here we go. With his Wind Ruler. So, reduces all damage received by up to 35%, and has a locked 60% chance of reflecting up to 50% of the damage back. This works for 6 seconds. So, that's actually quite good as well. But I'm actually amazed that it only goes to 35%, but then again it's all damage, not just physical like with Arminius. So, quite good. Let's look at Leonidas, an Earth Splitter. So he inflicts physical damage, which I'm not a fan of for defense immortals. But he does do it to all enemies, so that's a help. In the damage mitigation area, he reduces the damage you receive by up to 30%. And again, this is all damage and works for 6 seconds. El Cid, an old favorite of anyone running a lightning team like I do. Yeah, I don't even have it unlocked. Anyway, he reduces physical damage on the front row for up to 30%. And works for 12 seconds. Now, this includes a locked 65% chance of counterattack. So it's not a reflection ability, it doesn't reflect damage. It counterattacks, so it deals his physical damage on the enemy. And again, physical damage inflicted by a defense immortal isn't all that great. They have a low physical attack skill. But the damage rate is up to 100%. And he protects both front row troops, which can be quite good. Now, this skill is designed to counter Alexander, basically. It reduces the physical damage to both of the front troops. And when they're targeted by normal attacks, which is the mainstay of Alex attacks, he can deal damage back. So, it is very very Alex counter-like. So let's move on to the Tower of Knowledge. And we'll start with the elite skills in the same area. Magical and physical shield. These both mitigate damage for up to 30% for the entire fight, so I would suggest you use it on your top row frontal attack immortal, or your back row damage dealer when facing targets that, troops that target the back row, like mages with magical shield. With physical shields, you would use it against ranged units that target back rows, like if they do random attacks or all enemies and such. But these two are usually not used much in the late to end stages of the game. Then we have resist. So during battle, 3 of your random allied troops would receive up to minus 50% magical damage for 18 seconds. This is another blessing, but this one works for 18 seconds instead of 12 like many of the other blessings. So it's a bit more useful, and since it's 3 of your random allied troops, it basically hits anyone else than you, but it might hit some of your guys twice. However, I'm not sure if it stacks. But it's a pretty useful skill, and I use it a lot on my lightning because it resists Cleo, basically. So, since I'm countering Earth. Then we have the older brother of Guard, the assist skill. I use this a lot. I use this on the back row to transfer the damage to Yisung from Genghis. And the way it works is that if you place it on a back row immortal, it transfers all the damage from the other back row immortal because you can't target yourself randomly. If you place it on a front row immortal, you randomly select one of the back rows to transfer damage from. So, mitigates damage for up to 25%, and it targets all damage. Now, Guard works very, very similar. So, all damage reduces it by up to 25%, but this will select one random allied friendly unit. Not back row, but any. So, it doesn't matter where you place it. It can be placed on anyone else than yourself. So using it on a back row, if you use assist with it, is better because then you have the chance of the 2 front immortals. But using it on the other back row, so I would use it maybe on Genghis if Yisung has assist, then it can work on anyone, and since it cannot be stocked with assists, they will never conflict. So, that's the gist of God. Now, other new skills that work in similar ways are Jade Barrier, which reduces the magical damage you receive by up to 15% and also gives you a shield. I'll cover shields later. So it's in the magical damage, mitigation area. It's okay, 15%. It's not great, but it's only for yourself. So this skill is more a shielding spell than a damage mitigation skill. Then we have the weakness protection. Let me see. Where is that skill? All these new skills. Here we are. So after the battle starts, it reduces the physical damage and the magical damage, so of separate units. So it always helps the weakest defensive immortal. So anyone with the lowest physical defense gets physical damage mitigation. Anyone with the lowest magical defense gets the magic damage mitigation. But as with the blessings, it only works for the first 12 seconds of the battle. So you you basically use this for someone who procs early, right? So against mages with high energy recovery, so you can basically, defend better against the first wave of damage. Last we have overpower. So every time you receive a magical damage, you reduce it by up to 10% for 3 seconds, and it stacks, and the timer refreshes every time you get more magical damage. So because of this, you're gonna want to place this on a mortal that is going to receive a lot of magic damage. So anyone in the back row who is targeted directly by mages or magic damage skills, or if you're facing defensive models who are using like Heavenly Thunder or magic damage dealing skills because they have high magical attack, you want to place it on an immortal receiving those to maximize the effect. So, as our conclusion, the new skills add a much needed diversity to the skill package provided by the Tower of Knowledge, allowing you to build stronger 2nd, 3rd and 4th troops without, hopefully, breaking anything. So, that was the long version. Please subscribe to my channel, comment, tell me if you want me to cover something specific for the game, and thank you for watching and happy gaming.